What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. It's Chuck's Kitchen. It's Sunday, so you know what that means. Smokin' Sunday. Hashtag Smokin' Sunday's back. Now today, we're doing something a little different. We're going to be doing a super simple recipe for people that are new to using their smoker. Now it's going to be chicken thighs. Now not only are we doing a dry rub, but we're also doing a brine made with honey, overnight brine. Alright, boys and girls, you know what that means. Grab a beer, sit on the couch, watch the video, fire up the smoker, have an awesome Sunday. Let's do this. Now, the first step in making our smoked chicken thighs is the brine. Now, the reason why we brine, it's to really soak, it's salted water, and to soak the meat with as much salted water as possible so when we cook things, they won't dry out. So only a few ingredients involved with this brine. It's going to be awesome. It's going to make the chicken taste so much better too. So first ingredient is 2 cups of water. Now don't be worried about being super accurate with the amount of liquid and stuff like that in your brine, because it's a brine. It's not a sauce. It's not part of the dish. It's just the preparation. So that's that. And then we're also going to do a 1/2 cup of Italian dressing. Now this is your normal salad dressing, normal Italian dressing. This is an extremely generic brand. Like I said, 1/2 cup of that. I am going to measure that one out. I don't want it too salty and acidic because of the dressing. And then the part that makes this the brine is our Morton's iodized salt. So we're going to be doing 2 tablespoons of salt. Not super accurate with that. Doesn't need to be exact. Now for the honey part of this, it's going to give it a really good sweet flavor. We're doing a 1/2 cup of just 100% honey. I'm not going to be too exact with this. If you do a little bit more, great. If you do a little bit less, that's fine too. Probably right there is about a 1/2 cup. And then our last secret ingredient, nope, not beer. It's going to be garlic powder. So just a little bit of garlic powder in there. Probably, half a tablespoon. Like I said, don't have to be too exact on this. It's the brine. It's not going to affect the chicken that much. Now, once we got all of our ingredients in our mixing bowl, take a whisk, and you got to whisk it for about a minute. Make sure that salt dissolves in the brine. Make sure the honey dissolves in the brine as well. Make sure everything gets dissolved together. Because what we don't want it to separate while it's overnight brining. Great. Next step, putting the brine into the chicken. So, I have 6 chicken thighs, bone in, skin on. They've been chilling for about 30 minutes at room temperature with a little bit of salt, pepper, and garlic powder. I like to do that just so the skin, starts to be seasoned just a little bit. We're putting these into a gallon Ziploc bag. Don't worry about that too much. Fold over the bag to make it easier to pour in our brine. And then we're going to start pouring in our brine. Try to push out as much air as possible in the bag. I don't know why. It's just part of cooking. Just do it. Don't ask questions, right? Okay. Mix it up, shake it up a little bit. Now that we got our chicken in our bag with our brine, I just gotta warn you guys, pro tip, I put anything that I'm brining in a Ziploc bag, but I also put it in a glass dish. Gosh forbid, last thing I want to do is the bag to leak overnight and then you're dealing with a terrible mess. All right, so we're putting that in the fridge. Now that chicken thighs and the brine are going to stay in the fridge at a minimum of 4 hours. But if you've been following the program, you know we don't do anything for a minimum. We're doing it overnight. So anywhere from 10 to 12 hours. Now tomorrow, that's gonna be really nice and brined, and we're gonna throw it on the smoker, so stay tuned, see you all tomorrow. All right, everyone, welcome back. Now, we've had the chicken thighs in the brine overnight. I pulled them from that Ziploc bag that we had them in, I put them on a wire rack, and I patted them dry with a paper towel. Now, while that's cooling off, we want that to get to room temperature. We're gonna be making our rub for the chicken. So we're gonna start off with that Morton's iodized salt. We're gonna be doing about a 1/4 cup of that. Salt's really gonna be the base. Once again, you don't have to be too accurate with the salt. It's just a guide, 1/4 cup. Oh, works on that. We're gonna be doing an 1/8 cup of fresh black pepper. And like I said, we're not really gonna be measuring. We never do in Chuck's Kitchen. It is all pretty much to taste. All right, it's about an 1/8 cup. We're gonna be doing about an 1/8 cup, or a little bit less, some garlic powder, and I'll show you guys my exact measurements in the descriptions. Okay, a little bit of onion powder as well. I hope you guys can see this just fine. I'm not being very accurate with that. Boom. And for color and for an amazing flavor, we're gonna be doing some smoked paprika. Don't need too much of that. Perfect. Great. Got everything mixed up. Just take a fork, blend everything together. Make sure to blend all the spices together. If it's a little too white, we might have used a little bit too much salt, so just dial back on the salt. The good thing about the rub here is you can add a touch bit more smoked paprika. You could add a little bit more pepper as well. Good, as you can see there, hint of red. It's looking perfect. It's looking nice and salty, ready to be applied nice and liberally to our chicken thighs. Now I start applying the rub on the bottom side, so skin side facing down. Like I said, we're just gonna apply this very generously. To the bottom of. Now repeat this process, skin side facing up. Now that we got our rub on, we're gonna let this rest for 30 minutes. We wanna bring the chicken down to room temperature. Now the reason why we want it at room temperature is because if it goes straight from cold to hot, it's gonna tense up and all the juices are gonna run out. So room temperature to hot is way better to make a really nice juicy chicken thigh. All right guys, so we got the smoker set to 275 degrees and I'm about to put the chicken thighs in there. But before I do, I want to tell you what type of wood I'm using today. So I got big chunks of hickory, but also I'm mixing it up with a little bit of apple as well. So hickory and apple wood, they've been smoking in some lukewarm water just to prevent them from flaring up and getting the controlled temperature out of control. So 275. All right, gonna put the chicken thighs in skin up, so skin facing up into the smoker. We can space these out, don't have to be right on top of each other. I'm gonna do 3 per, Brody, get out of there. 3 per rack. Great, close that up. And then add a couple chunks of wood into our smoker. Great, and we're not gonna touch that for an hour and 45 minutes. So 275 degrees, hour and 45 minutes, regulates the temperature, and they'll be good to go. All right, we got some bonus content, as usual, a beer review. Now, I took this beer last night from a brewery called East Nashville Beer Works. Now, the name of this beer, pretty funny. It's called the Brute Willis IPA with a little picture of Bruce Willis's face on it. They call it a Brute IPA because after brewing it, they add enzymes to it. And the enzymes eat away all the excess sugar, just like in champagne making, so it's going to be really dry and crisp. That's a little bit of beer science for you. So I'm going to give it a pour. Super light. I mean, that just looks like champagne. Super light. Really good florally notes to it. Very crisp. Man, these tiny little micro bubbles. That's like super light, super dry. Really a little bitter at the end, which is awesome for an IPA. So I'm going to rate this one 7.5. I really like this one. All right, cheers, guys. After an hour and 45 minutes, the chicken thighs are off the smoker, and I wanted to show you guys the final product. Man, they look awesome. Really nice crust on there. Let me peel back some of the skin on there. You can see how well and moist they still are. Yeah, they're delicious. Your family's gonna love this. I also threw some corn on the cob in the husk, pulled back and did a little bit of seasoning on there and pulled the husks back and threw them in too. Super easy for you guys. That's all we got this week. Thank you for watching another episode of Chuck's Kitchen, #Smokin' Sundays. Now always remember to subscribe, like, comment in the comment section what you guys want me to do next week. This is my sous chef Brody. I'm Chef Chuck, coming at you guys live. Take it easy, tune in next week.